Okay, I want to talk about screen navigation right now, and that's just increasing the size of the image on your screen, moving around the image so that you can see what's going on up close. In Photoshop, there's always several ways to do things. So let me show you the multiple ways of getting around your image, and then I'll tell you which one I think is the best. The first way to go about this is when the file is sitting here on your desktop, Photoshop will tell you what percentage you're viewing it at. So this is so tiny you can't even see, at 100%, that means that for every pixel that is physically on your monitor, you're seeing a pixel in the image. So if I were to zoom in on the image, you'll see that this percentage will go up. So now I'm seeing the image 300% larger than it actually is. So the way to make that happen, to zoom in like that, there's a couple options. You can use the zoom tool down here on your toolbar. You select the tool, and anytime you select a tool, you'll see its options up here in the options bar. So at the moment I'm on increase magnification, so I can click and continue to zoom in until at some point Photoshop will tell me that's it, sorry, you're as zoomed in as you can possibly get. So now to zoom back out, I could go back up here and say no, I want to zoom out now, and then click with the mouse again to zoom out. That's a pretty long and tedious process, having to go through several menus to actually make that happen. So a slightly quicker shortcut is that you can use, if you're on any other tool, so if I'm here on my regular old move tool and I want to zoom in, rather than go and click on the tool, I can just hold the Z key down for zoom, and now I can zoom out. And again, I can change that to the zoom in tool, and I can zoom in. So I'm holding the Z key down, which changes my whatever tool I'm on into the magnifying tool. Another way that I can zoom in is to use something called the Navigator. So I can go to Window, down to Navigator, which will bring up this little palette right here, panel. And what I can do in here is I can zoom in or out by scrolling this scroll bar here. You can see the image increasing and decreasing in size there. And then the red box indicates where I am in the image, so I can move the red box around to navigate around the image. But again, this is kind of tedious because you have to go to yet another panel, make changes, and then come back to your image to actually do any work. So the way that I recommend that you zoom in and out is to actually use keyboard shortcuts. And the keyboard shortcut to zoom in is to hold the Apple key and the plus key. So Apple plus, and I zoom in, Apple minus, and I zoom out. That's the Alt key on a PC, Alt plus, Alt minus, to zoom in and out. Once you've zoomed in, rather than use the Navigator to move around in the image, you could also use the blue slidey bars on the side and bottom, but again, that's a bit tedious. You could go to the palette and select the hand tool, the tool palette, and select the hand tool, and then you can click and drag and move around. But again, the keyboard shortcut to get to the hand is just to hold the space bar down. So on any other tool, if I hold the space bar down, my cursor will temporarily turn into the hand, and now I can zoom or move around in my zoomed image. So Apple plus to zoom in, Apple minus to zoom out, space bar to change to the hand to move around.